So today I'm going to talk about social media platform analysis. Nowadays, the media platforms are crucial to culture production and consumption. The platform utilizes the affordances, algorithmic, logic form, and interaction technology to fuel the culture manifestation. However, the digital media channels is evolving into platformization. The trend of the evolution of platformization is the conflict to traditional culture policy and digital culture policy. For instance, the regulatory frameworks within the EU try to widen the boundaries which should embed the data protection, digital markets, and digital service. There's a strong trend of culture undergoing digitalization. With the development of technology, the interaction device and virtual reality become mainstream, facilitating culture production and consumption. While as Van Dijk and Dual stated, technology-joined platform will not only operate themselves platform, but also the phantomization creates the interdependencies relationship with other platforms, and the platforms as a gatekeeper to operate the priorities of culture content, which determines which content priority in this ecosystem. As Beer pointed out, the power of algorithms in the media platform significantly impacts on the user's experience every day. In reality, algorithms in some cases are abused in seduce, coercion, discipline, regulate, and control. It is a negative influence on culture mode, and in turn, the culture production also shapes the forms of dominate the sources and formation of knowledge. As the discussion, it provides the contours which interaction between phantomization of media and massive populations' cognitive and mainstream thinking. In practice, as Valti Sun stated, it is universal acknowledged that the policy of digital culture is considered as the process and acts shaping the communication infrastructures and environments. The platform plays a role of translating it into practice involving the power of algorithm, deliberation, and action. At the same time, making policy it's beneficial to build the reciprocal relation from bottom to top. The frame of media policy is beneficial to culture representation, culture production, consumption, and regulation. Conversely, the phantomization of culture imposes the challenge to digital culture policymaking due to the extended boundaries, complexities, sectors, and topics. Vice versa, the regulation of digital culture platform also pays attention to how the platform operates the data traffic, privacy, transparency, democratic control of data. Thirdly, the form of labor right and culture workers gain. There's an obvious phenomenon that the most work have been done on free. The slave of algorithm is that the power of algorithm shapes the situation. Inequalities, reinforcing class and discrimination, as Ilbanks and Chun pointed out. The engineered inequity and racist of technology is a buzz in the phantomization of media. It illustrated with example that the EU regulation institutions are of particular interest due to the policy could affect the regulatory environments of members under the enough powers of regulating the digital platforms. From the regulation of introduction, the Audiovisual Media Service Directive assumed in 2007 is a fundamental to cornerstone of digital culture platform, evolving and amending into the frameworks such as General Data Protection Regulation and the Digital Markets Act. This regulation protects the natural person privacy and rights and avoids the person to violations. In particular, the user-generated content is an additional considerate and regulated because the different policy regulates the content generating. To summarize, the boundary of regulation is vital to manage the culture content generating in the trend of the platforms of digital culture. The regulation initiatives in the EU level is the good practices to protect the user privacy and rights. The platform ecosystem is reciprocity relationship with the stakeholders and amending existing policy framework to evolving the digital culture policy to satisfy the extreme exchange in the digital transition. Making digital policy is not only the conceptual implication and practical implication in terms of creativity of culture content. The phantomization swift the situation culture practices and stakeholders such as institution, markets, governance.